Um, in your eyes, what seeds that you think I planted in you, whether it's intentionally or unintentionally,
Hmm.
you know, seeds that you hope to be able to pass on.
Well, you planted all of the seeds in me. Every single seed you could find, you planted it in me. And I'm grateful for you for that. But in all seriousness, some of the seeds that I'll talk about include volunteering. I think is a big one. I volunteer at a farm, and I also volunteer with my mom at a soup kitchen. We volunteer together. And I also volunteer in a political sense at the People's Forum. So I think that has been embedded with me in a big way. And then also mindfulness.
Mm.
You're always telling me to be mindful.
Oh, you think?
All of the time. And I'm still working on that. But I think that it's definitely, I don't think, I know that that's something that you have really embedded in me that I have been taking more seriously. I think.
I know. I noticed you that you started meditating.
Yes, meditation was going to be the next one. I have started meditating because my mom meditates every single day for as long as I've been alive. And so I've recently started taking up meditating every single day, which I never do. So I'm like, who am I? What am I doing? This is crazy. But you embedded that in me, and I really appreciate that because it's really changed my life. And also, you touched on this earlier, but also friendships and the importance of having deep friendships with people, and sisterhood. And I just admire that about you so much. And also how, the importance of not prioritizing romantic relationships over your friendships, which I think we get a lot of messaging and programming around romance, relationships, boyfriend, girlfriends, and not always the importance of your friends are always going to be there, and cultivating those kinds of relationships because they're just as important, if not more important.
It is. Oh my goodness, my sister friends, my friends. It's they're my rock. They have my belly. They have my back. Um, Certain romance will come and go, but my sister friends have always been there for me, regardless. And so I'm really glad that you have that you have sister friends and friends that have your back regardless. It's so important. It's important in terms of nurturing those relationships. And I tell you, that's one of the blessings that I've gotten from my dad, your grandfather, our ancestor, in terms of community service in particular. My father in particular and my mom, they always gave service in the church and in the community. And tithing was another.
And so did my dad's mom as well.
Yes, exactly. Mrs. Power was an activist in the community. So you get this from both sides. So it's a beautiful thing. Yeah. Those are the generational blessings, folks. And sometimes we don't need to look far for what our generational blessings are. Just looking into who your family is and how they show up. You look into their eyes.
Okay, I have another question for you.
Okay.
Where do you see the intersection between healing and technology? How can AI or ancestor intelligence help us preserve or transform our family's history?
Gosh, actually, I wanted to share that a little later, but you know what? It's interesting that you mentioned that now. We're getting ready to have a big family reunion in Montreal. And the matriarch of the Nason family is turning 95. So we're going to bring the party to her. And so I've been looking into various ways that there's a small committee of us. We're looking at various ways to really make that event special. And so I've actually been digging into AI to help me figure out some activities and things to make it memorable. And I don't see my slides anymore. All right, lovely.
no.
Yeah, no, that's fine. There are many tools. Yeah, I know that you have your issue with AI, and I'm an AI nut. I know I was in a workshop just this afternoon. But AI has become my thought partner. In fact, I use it to plan my trips when I'm traveling overseas. But I found some really wonderful tools, um, AI tools that can help me um, make the family reunion really beautiful, including ChatGPT. And there's something called Descript that actually will record the oral history and will give it to you in a format, um, using things as some of the things that folks are using already, like Canva and Notion, to create a family portrait, digital, including recipes, including stories. I there's another tool called Caps. You know what? I apologize because I actually had a whole um, slide in terms of the tools that we've been using. But Future Me is another one of those tools that many of us use. And what I'm thinking, like, we're going to do a Future Me 10, maybe 20 years down the line. And Future Me is a tool where you send yourself an email and it will send it to you at an appointed time. And so I'm thinking that we can use that, and also creating a digital,
A legacy
a
box.
legacy box using digital tools. And so there are actually many tools that we can use to honor and to preserve the legacy, right? We no longer, yes, paper and pen is good, but we no longer have to do that. There are different ways that AI can actually support you in maintaining and preserving. That's the key word, preserving the legacy. And especially as those of you, we're going to be sitting around Thanksgiving dinner. I'm going to invite you, if you're the one with that sweet potato pie recipe or that mac and cheese, to please share it. To please share it. Too many people have gone to their graves with the recipe. And so one of the digital tools talks about putting those recipes in the toolbox so that the
So
future.
when are you gonna do that for me?
I'm working on it. That's why I did the research and I got the tools.
Okay, she has
We're,
the tools.
we're going to do that. So you see how she calls me on that. And yeah. All right. So we have another question. If you could speak to your ancestors. As a matter of fact, we have a small altar here. I'm looking at the ancestors right now. If you could speak to your ancestors, what would you ask them? And speaking to the generation not yet born, what would you share with them right now? What message would you give them?
Those are great questions. And what I want to say to my ancestors is thank you. First and foremost, thank you. I literally owe them my life. I would not be here without them. We would not be here without them. So thank you. And I just have immense gratitude for everything, all of the experiences that they went through that were challenging, and that they had struggles, and so that I could live a less challenging life, or that my life could be a little bit less challenging, and I could also land in a soft place. And as much as I'm grateful for them to go through those challenges and those hard times, I'm also grateful for all of the joy and laughter and pleasure and moments of relaxation and love that they experienced as well, because that's a reminder for me that even when I am going through hard times or have hardships that I'm experiencing, that there's always sweetness that's coming around the corner. And that's a reminder for me. So thank you. And for the future generations, I would say relax, period. I'd say relax. The world is always going to be in chaos. There's always going to be something happening in the world. Things will be frustrating sometimes, injustices are going to happen. That's just being human on this planet. That's just what it's going to be. So I would say to kind of combat that is to tend to your inner garden, cultivate your inner garden, and really focus on your inner world so that it becomes a little bit easier to experience the outer world, right? Because you are the treasure. You are the treasure. We are the treasure. And our ancestors were the treasure and are the treasure. So we need to remember that. And also just know how powerful you are. You need to know how powerful you are, how each and every single one of us, our ancestors, those in the present and those in the future, you are all so powerful, and that you don't need to rely on, look for people who may know more than you, or people to lead you. You have all the answers. It's all within you. So remember that.
Woof, I have taught her well. She has taken everything that I've given her, alchemized it into what gifts that she has. By the way, her name Ebu means God's gift. Yeah, that's beautifully said. And I want to also I want to apologize to you. We've had this conversation in terms of my generation, the baby boomers. Each generation brings in their gifts and also their challenges. And one of the challenges that we have, and we're both climate activists and we're for Gaia. My generation did a lot to not care for the planet. It started with us. Well, it started long before that, but our generation actually had some ownership around what's happening today around the climate. And so, yeah, I want to apologize for that. And we're doing better, which is why I do so much work around the environment. And that I see that, she has picked up the baton for that. This been a beautiful conversation with what are you, Gen Z, Gen X?
I like to call myself a zillennial.
A zillennial.
A zillennial, for those at home who don't know, is a mixture of a millennial and a Gen Z. So it's like at the cusp of a millennial and a Gen Z. So I'm like an older Gen Z and a younger millennial. So zillennial.
Okay, zillennial and a baby boomer.
Best of both worlds.
The best of both worlds. Yeah. And that's my favorite, absolutely favorite person in the world. And beloveds in the community, I want you to take away that right now, right this very moment, you are that ancestor, that whatever choices that you're making is planting the seed for the future. Like the most important time is not the past, it's not the future. It is actually right now. And I'll share with you, there was a time when I said to the universe, I don't want to come back to this world, because I do believe in reincarnation. We come back here to learn our lessons, and I didn't want to come back. I said, no, I'm done. And then recently that has shifted for me because my consciousness has shifted. And I want to come back as that ancestor who comes back with a consciousness and a light to support humanity and to support the planet. So I'm actually excited to eventually come back. And so here's the thing. It's like building wealth is important right now. And I know one of my mentors, Alicia Holmes from Journey to Wealth, has taught me the importance of building wealth for yourself and community. Taking care of your body right now is important because epigenetic is a real thing. We have markers in our body, but it doesn't mean that it has to be activated. There's things that we can do. I'm working on releasing high blood pressure right now, right? So right now is where we make the change so that the future can step into something totally different, something beautiful. They'll have their challenges, but the challenges that we have, they don't need to go through that because we're making the changes now. We are that ancestor. That's what that means. And so, period. All right. I want to close with so Disrupt the Tao. We're at the intersection of technology and wellness, and this is Wellness Wednesday. And so we talked a little bit about technology. And those of you who may want more information on AI and building and legacy, reach us at Disrupt the Tao, at our Telegram at IG. I can get back to you with some specific tools. But right now, this very moment, as we wrap up, I want to take a moment. I invite you to close your eyes. I invite you to close your eyes and to put your hand on your heart. Because the heart, that is the place of gratitude. Gratitude lives in our heart. And to take a deep breath. And that breath is for our ancestors. We breathe for our ancestors, those who came before us. Take another deep breath. And that breath is for the ones that are here right now. Take another deep breath. And that is for the ones that are yet to come, for the next 7 generations.
And we honor the ancestors whose footsteps made our lives possible, known and unknown, named and unnamed, held and unspoken. We thank them for the gifts, and we release what no longer serves our family.
May the wounds end with us. May the blessings begin again and with us. May everything we heal today ripple forward in love.
May our words today become medicine. May our stories become light. May our choices become seeds in the soil of future generations. We stand as future ancestors. We bless this lineage. We bless this moment. And we bless every heart listening. May healing flow forward. May love flow backwards. May all our lineage be free. Ashe. Amen. And so it is.
And it is.
And it is so.
Thank you, family.